right, so um, I'm going to be doing the introduction. So first of all, everybody, thank you so much for coming. This meeting tonight is obviously to honor our veterans. I'm very excited. I did invite um, all of our speakers, so I will be doing our introductions because I do know these individuals very well. I'm very honored that they're here today. Veterans Day is on the 11th, and so we always want to honor all those who lovingly served our country and still do. I'm very excited. Now, the speeches tonight are kind of this really cool flow from before to during to after. So that's the way I wanted to present them. And with that being said, we're going to start with the before, and I'm going to have Lachelle come to the stage. Now, what I mean by that, I'm going to give you her introduction. So let me spotlight her really quick. All right. So, Lachelle, she joined the Army at 19. Her entire family has a military background, and as a military brat, it was natural for her to enter the military. She was an E5 administrative sergeant. Just after 9/11, she got out of the military and married her high school sweetheart. Together, they have three daughters, 26, 19, and 13. And she also has polycystic kidney disease. And she didn't find out that until she had it with her last child back in 2012. Currently, as I know her personally, she is on the kidney transplant list. She is doing PD dialysis. She is listed at University of Maryland, and she's been there for over a year. And now I welcome her to tell us all about her story. And of course, she is connected to Dove. Lachelle, please take it away. All right.
Everybody. So just small. I'm at John Hopkins, not University of
Oh,
Maryland.
you are
Yeah.
right.
hmm
Okay.
I am. I mean, they're both great, but my whole yeah, I'm at John Hopkins. So I am going to start with just Jamie just basically took the first little portion that I was going to explain. So I will pick up on how I got into Dove. I've been working for the federal government for about 23 years. So I was offered a reassignment to a new federal agency. I do HR. So they do the new onboarding every day for all new employees. I do it. So when I had to do onboarding, I kind of laughed and chuckled and I was like, okay, this will be a free day. I'll just sit there and listen. So I heard everything was going on and I really wasn't paying attention. And then they started talking about all of the different diversity groups that are being offered. Again, I know all the diversity groups, but the veterans one stood out to me because the veteran representative said, oh, just last month we had a meeting where we had this program on called Dove on there, and they help veterans get a transplant. Of course, I instantly tuned in like that was meant for me to hear. So once that meeting was over, I messaged and joined the veterans group. I have never in 23 years joined any of the groups associated with work, but I felt like it was something that I really wanted to be a part with. I asked her about Dove and she sent me a video that they had did the YouTube video. So I watched that video and I was just in awe because I had literally just found out that I was at stage 5 kidney disease within about 3 months of finding out. I had a catheter in and was trying to figure that process out. And my doctors were very helpful with immediately helping me do the 3 million tests it took to get on the transplant list. Me not really knowing about a lot about kidney disease, probably as I should, because my dad and my grandfather both had it. I just assume I'm gonna get on the kidney transplant list and I'm going to be on there for a little bit and get a kidney. So it was a huge devastation when I found out that it was going to take me 5 years or more to receive a deceased donor's kidney. So then I started the process of like, okay, how do I at least cut that time in half? And it was like Dove just popped out immediately and I set it in the air and it happened. So once I talked to them, they were able to provide me the information on Dove. I completed an application. It's the program itself. I felt like it was good because I always say to people, they always say, why don't you post on social media or why don't you tell everybody? Why don't you just ask someone for a kidney? I feel like the hardest thing for me to do was just say to someone, hey, by the way, can I get a kidney from you? But with Dove, it made it easier because as Jamie can attest, I share my website at least once a month. Hey, it's that time of month again, still the need a kidney. Or look, check out my website. I need a kidney. And the website is amazing. All I did was completed the application answered questions. They took the questions that I answered and turned it into an amazing webpage with a picture of me and my family. And I haven't gotten a donor yet, but I've had several people reach out. They'll call you and let you know, hey, someone's reached out. If they don't want to remain anonymous, if they want to remain anonymous, they let them remain anonymous. But they assist them with getting all of the testing they need. They assist with travel. One of the donors who I am currently just so happens to be a coworker. She lives in Florida. I'm in Maryland. They're working with her to make sure she gets all the testing she gets. If she becomes actual my donor, they're going to assist her with travel here and staying here. And so it made it a lot easier for me to go outside of just Maryland to find a donor that can help me. Um, every month they have a call and we get on the call. They all have representative on there from the Kidney Transplant Registry who will tell you about the registry. There's always a team who has had the transplant, the donor, and the veteran recipient. They'll tell us about their process or some of the teams that are getting ready to go through that process, which is amazing. I'm excited. I get so excited and happy for everyone who gets a kidney disease because I just know, just hearing everybody's story, that my time is coming, no matter how long it takes. Um, so with that, I mean, I really don't have a lot left to say about them, but they are very amazing. They have, if you go on their website, they have a link on there for all of the donors, all of the recipients, not, excuse me, correction, all of the veterans who need a kidney. And we're all listed. Everyone has a website. I've literally looked at every single person's website and read their story and felt like I know every last one of them. I've never met them in person, but just seeing their story lets me know that I'm not alone and we're all fighting for the same thing and we're all going to get a kidney. And that's about it for me.
Thank you so much. We do have a
Welcome.
little bit more time. Do you want us to talk to us about how your life is like on dialysis right now?
Yes, absolutely. So life on dialysis is an up and down battle for me. I I do HR for the federal government. Everybody sees the news. So that is stressful. And to top it off, trying to get my dialysis in 6 days a week, there are some times where I'm just like, I can't do it. It's just too much. But I can appreciate being able to do dialysis at home versus going into the center because I'm able to do it through the night. I sleep through the night, I wake up and I sign into work and I start the process again the next day. Um, I actually am one of those people who the PD catheter did not work for me the first time. I had three PD catheter surgeries in over 3 months. The first one went in, it never worked. They scheduled a second surgery. The second one, it worked. And then when we got to the third training, the one where you get ready to start going home and doing it at home, it stopped working. So then I had to have a third surgery. By the time I got to the third surgery, I was ready to quit. I can't do this. I cannot keep doing these surgeries. But just talking to different kidney patients, the people at Dove, I met Jamie during that time frame and sharing my story. It's just I know that it's something that I need to do, but it is definitely hard. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've only been on dialysis a year, so it still feels like brand new to me, honestly. I'm kind of in the routine, but not in the routine. My house looks like a mini warehouse with all the boxes. So I'm still trying to figure out the best place to put all the boxes so it still looks semi normal for the family. And that's that process. Once a month, I do have to go to Fresenius, and the closest Fresenius to me that has my doctor is about 45 minutes away. So I have to take that drive. I have to actually do it this week. So I go there once a month and get lab one day, and then 2 days later, I go back to see the doctor. I think honestly, I know we all probably all think this, but I think I have the best kidney doctor in the state of Maryland. She is amazing. Um, Dr. Thraja, I can call her and text her right now and she would immediately respond. So I know everybody likes University of Maryland. I know everybody likes John Hopkins, but I'm never changing. I will keep her for life as long as she's a doctor. She's the best. The kids, my husband, they're all great. My cousin who's on the phone helping, they all are just amazing. They support me a lot and I need it. Um, it's just the communication and having someone in my background to just say, you got this, it'll be okay. Come on, get up. You got to go do your dialysis, because there are days where I just like, no, I'm not doing it today. And it's not that I know I don't need it. It's just that you want that sense of normalcy sometimes. So I'm still working on actually doing it 6 days a week. I won't lie, but I'm very close to getting to the 6 days.
Thank you so much. What
You're
an
welcome.
incredible story. Absolutely. And I'm going to put your link in the chat in a
Thank
little bit
you.
for Dove. So if anybody wants to share that, but I really appreciate you sharing what you're experiencing right now and how Dove has assisted you. So thank you so much for coming on here. We'll
Thank
definitely
you.
take some questions and hopefully everyone will stick around a little bit later. If you guys would like to comment,
Absolutely.
please comment in the chat too with anything you'd like to talk to Lachelle about. All right. We are going to go on to our next speaker just with the time. So I would like Lindsay to come to the stage here. Let me
Mm.
highlight her real quick. Okay. So this woman is a fantastic. She's a true epitome of a hero. Seriously, you guys. So I'm so honored to have her. Wait till you hear this story. Okay, I'm not even going to speak anymore about it because she's going to speak. I am going to introduce her. So Lindsay Gutierrez splits her time between Nashville, Georgia, and Baltimore, Maryland, with her active duty Air Force husband, Anthony, and lively crew of fur babies. She proudly served 6 years in the United States Air Force as a service force member, deploying multiple times and earning the rank of staff sergeant before receiving an honorable discharge. An experience that strengthened her lifelong commitment to service. A graduate of Lee University, the University of Oklahoma, and Arizona State University, she's currently pursuing her doctorate in social work at the University of Louisville. As an altruistic donor, Lindsay made history on March 25th, 2022, when she donated her kidney to a fellow veteran through the Donor Outreach for Veterans, Dove, making her the first kidney chain donor ever performed within the VA system and paving the way for more transplant opportunities for veterans. That's not it. On April 30th, 2024, she gave 40% of her liver to an anonymous recipient, embodying the ultimate act of sacrifice and compassion, not once, but twice. Through her activism and pageantry and community service and outdoor adventures, Lindsay champions global advocacy for living donation, using her own journey to showcase the body's resilience and the power of selfless giving. She continues to mentor and support other potential donors, inspiring others to step forward and save lives. Lindsay, the stage is yours. Did you need to do a presentation at all?
Yes, and I had the presentation ready to get brought up, so I'll
You
request to
got, okay.
share.
All right. Well, whenever you're all on, just let me know.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Give me just a second here. All right, there we go. All right, welcome everybody to the presentation. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm very honored to share about Dove on this special occasion to enlighten you more about Dove. Dove connects compassion, service, and community through living kidney donation. And we've all seen firsthand how kidney donation changes lives. And Dove brings that same impact to veterans nationwide. Dove was founded in 22 by Sharon Kreitzer. She is a transplant professional, a social worker, and a living donor herself. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so all services that we provide to people are completely free of charge to veterans. And as a Dove donor myself, everything 100% was free for me as well. Nothing came out of pocket for anything that I did. Our mission is to find, educate, and match living kidney donors with veterans waiting for a transplant. And then once the patient is matched, Dove supports both the donor and the veteran medically, emotionally, and financially. And of course, our goal is to make sure that no one faces donation or the transplant journey alone. Currently, we have facilitated transplants at over 45 medical centers across the US, and that number is growing every day. We have responded to over 800 inquiries, and that number is also increasing monthly. Behind every number is a story and a connection to hope. As you can see, Dr. Vaughn Whitaker calls Dove a powerful champion for veterans and their donors. Donor Valerie Riley said she donated because what's more powerful than giving a piece of yourself? And that really captures Dove's spirit perfectly. Veterans and prospective donors complete a short online intake form whenever they are interested in using Dove services. So Dove connects the candidate to an approved transplant center if they don't have one. And of course, they'll go through the process as well during that intake, and Sharon will go through everything very in depth. And so Dove provides outreach materials on the website. So if anybody's interested in learning more, you can connect with us on the website. We have flyers, we have signs, we have mentor support, but there's a whole host of logistical and financial assistance to keep the process fair and stress-free for every candidate. And then, of course, for the donors, there's the donor campaigns that we can provide to help share the news about the donor coming forward. That's what Sharon was able to do for me and for the other donors as well. But of course, for some of the donor campaigns, specifically for our candidates, it helps to spark that multiple matching through the repairing. And of course, that multiplication can help save lives. Specifically, if somebody wants to support one candidate, but they may not work out completely, they'll at least be able to continue with that process. Dove's approach combines awareness, support, and simplicity. It makes living kidney donation accessible to everyone, everywhere. We have a national outreach, and so we really encourage people to step forward to educate and to encourage that community support. We are really focused on being a community-based, patient-first model that really saves lives. And as you can see here, we have national coverage that has helped Dove reach a wide audience. Dove has been featured on Fox News, the Tamron Hall Show. We've been on Ivanhoe News and the National Kidney Foundation and so many other shows. And everybody that reaches out to us, we try to take advantage of getting on air to be able to reach as many people as possible. These stories raise awareness and inspire others to consider living organ donation. And every story shared creates a new opportunity for veterans who are waiting for a transplant. We love when our donors and our recipients are featured because it really puts the Dove name in household for those who really need the support. And as you can see, we have a whole bunch of different events that we've attended throughout the years. We are very active nationwide. We show up and we really connect in person as much as we can. Some of the recent events that we've attended have been the Army 10 miler, which I don't know why I did that, but I chose to run 10 miles and I do it every year. And then there is the Branson Veterans Week, the New York City Veterans Day Parade. We have different visits and presentations at transplant centers around the US. And each event helps to strengthen the community ties and bring more people into Dove's mission. And this is a really special story. This was just one of the many heartfelt letters that Dove has received over the years. Both donors and recipients have so much gratitude for their experience, and it really shows that donation can foster a lifelong connection, and it reaffirms to veterans that their service matters. And this is super exciting. Dove is going to be representing all branches of the military at the 2026 Transplant Games of America in Denver. We are debuting the transplant team, and this is the first of its kind to ever show up like this because most are state-oriented. We are showing our representation through our military service. So we're honoring both donors and recipients and their family members as well by celebrating resilience and second chances. And of course, we'd love to have you or anyone you know that's interested in joining our team, and I can give you more information about that. Lastly, here is our contact information. So To summarize, Dove's story is really one of service, compassion, and hope. We want to give veterans that opportunity that they have provided us, which is so many freedoms that we get to enjoy. So we want to be able to give something back to them, which is the gift of life. Dove is proud to be a part of this mission, and we really encourage our network and our friends that we share this message with to share it as well. So feel free to connect with us. We'd love to hear from you and have your support. So if you or your organization is interested, we would love to be able to present and get the Dove in your transplant center. All right, so now I am going to transition into telling you about my donation story, which is very special. So a little bit about me. I'm a proud Air Force veteran, a two-time living organ donor, a social worker, and an Air Force spouse. When people hear that I've donated twice, once a kidney and then once a liver, they usually pause and they ask, why would you do that? And for me, the answer is very simple. It's my military service, and it's service in general. Service is what led me to join the Air Force, and it's what later inspired me to give a piece of myself, literally 40% plus a whole left kidney, so that somebody else could live. I served 6 years in the Air Force and security forces. I was stationed at RAF Lakenheath in England, and I deployed to Djibouti and Qatar. The military taught me discipline, teamwork, and a sense of purpose, and these lessons still guide me to this day. After my honorable discharge in 2016, I earned my master's in social work because it's what I wanted to do to continue serving others, but just in a different capacity. And even then, something was missing. I missed that mission and that connection and that feeling of belonging to something bigger than myself. In 2021, a moment with a friend changed everything. She shared with me that a friend of hers was in need of a liver transplant, and thankfully he got the care that he needed, but that conversation really stuck with me. It opened my eyes to the world of organ donation and how people wait years for that same chance at a second chance of life. In 2022, I came across an article in the Military Times about Dove, and that's where I met Sharon. And of course, we connected in the most unique way, and it had to be this way somehow. My intake was while I was sitting at a tattoo shop getting my left arm sleeve completely done. Sharon explained to me the process about Dove's mission, and everything spoke directly to my heart. It was veterans helping veterans and service continuing beyond the uniform. So on May 25th, 2022, I specifically chose that date because it was, Memorial Day weekend that weekend. And so I chose it because of the fact of my military service and the fact that I was going to be donating to another veteran. I went through Dove because of that mission that it spoke to. It was helping one another, and it was veterans connecting with one another. And it was one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. And it reminded me of the camaraderie and purpose I felt while serving in the Air Force. That donation changed me forever. I stayed connected with the Dove community and supported other donors and recipients and advocated for organ donation along the way. And in 2023, I joined a group of donors, recipients, and other caregivers to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. We summited on World Kidney Day, and standing on top of that mountain surrounded by people whose lives were connected through organ donation was incredibly humbling. It reminded me how one selfless act can create a ripple outward by touching lives far beyond your own. That experience inspired my second donation. On April 30th of 2024, I donated 40% of my liver. For me, each donation was not about the sacrifice, but it was about the connection. And it was another way to continue serving, but just in a different form. Since its founding, Dove has helped many veterans receive life-saving transplants and supported hundreds of prospective donors across the country. Behind every number is a story, and it's a veteran who now gets to live fully again and a donor who discovered a new purpose through giving. Dove represents what's best about the transplant and military communities: compassion, teamwork, and never leaving anyone behind. Today, I'm continuing that mission in a new way. I'm pursuing my doctorate in social work, and I'm focusing my research on psychosocial support for living donors. Because while we celebrate these life-saving acts of donation, donors themselves often fade into the background after surgery. We tend to be forgotten, but our journey doesn't end when the operation does. And that's why I'm compassionate and passionate about building better systems of ongoing emotional and psychological support for living donors. And this coming year, I'm especially excited to attend the first Transplant Games of America for myself as part of Dove's U.S. Armed Forces transplant team. And it's such an honor to represent the veteran and donor communities together to be a part of this historic first ever team. We'll be making history showing that service, strength, and second chances are alive and well in this community. And for me, it's not about competition, but about celebrating life, resilience, and the powerful connections that donation creates. And when I look back on my journey from serving overseas to serving others through organ donation, I realize it's all connected. Both are acts of love, courage, and commitment to something greater than myself. Being a living donor didn't take anything from me, it gave me something. It gave me perspective, gratitude, and a renewed sense of purpose. So my message tonight is simple. If you ever get the chance to make a difference, say yes, because that yes might just be someone's second chance at life. Thank you.
Lindsay, that was fantastic. Seriously. Thank you so much for coming on here. You know how much I love you. Lindsay was actually donated her liver at Hopkins. So I know we're very Hopkins strong here in this meeting tonight with Larry. But I will tell you though, Lindsay, you got some Team Maryland members here going to the transplant games you can meet later on. Like George is on here, for example, 50 years with a kidney. So you better bring your A game when you come with.
Yes. We're looking
military.
forward to
We're coming
celebrating
too.
with everybody.
All right. You talk about that. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Fantastic. Absolutely. And definitely anyone sticks around for questions later on too. I'm going to bring to the next portion of this, and John, if you want to come to the stage. Now we're going to talk a little bit about being military and also what happens afterward. And it's as much as donation is amazing, it's hard. It's a difficult process too, and we go through a lot of things. And I definitely John is part of our crew, and he's going to speak more on that too. So he did receive a kidney transplant this year. So, John, you joined the Army in 85. You served in Germany, okay, from 85 to 87, 2nd, 83rd Artillery, and then from 87 to 89, 2nd, and then 320th, and then 101st Airborne, Air Assault, got out in 89. Started working after 1 week. You also, part of what you do too is that you're a punk rocker in DC. You're extremely well known. You have a large audience. You're part of the old punk rock scene too. Has a fantastic community in DC. And while you were doing this, you were diagnosed with kidney disease in your 40s, and you were on dialysis for 2 years roughly, and you got a kidney this year, actually, February. You did have a wife of 20 years and 2 kids until you started going through dialysis. That was a pretty rough ride. And I would like to tell you more about that story, your military experience, and love to hear from you about how you're doing now. Take it away.
Okay. I've never done this before. She just reached out on Facebook and asked me to, because I was in the military, asked me to join. So basically, she said most of everything. When I was in Germany, they wanted me to stay actually, because I was so good at special weapons. They were going to promote me, but I ended up back in the States because I was short and I didn't want to stay. There's that. I got out in 89. I started booking all around DC for bands who had never had a chance. So I gave a lot of people a lot of chances, didn't ask for a demo, didn't ask for anything. So I did all that for a long time. And then in my 40s, I had back problems. So I was going through MRIs and all this whenever I had pain. So in my 40s, I go in one time, and then the doctor and everyone came in and like talked to me like, we need to tell you something. What? They're like, you have polycystic kidney disease. I'm like, okay. So that's where it got crazy. But he was sure that I'm saying a lot of ums, I'm sorry. I've never spoke like this before. And he put me in touch with a nephrologist. So nephrologist said basically I'd end up having kidney failure around 50. So by the time I ended up on dialysis, my filtration rate was probably around 11, somewhere in there, but I'm still going. I was in dialysis for like 2 years. But during that decline, that's the worst part, is the decline in mental and physical. It was horrible. And my wife, I guess she just didn't believe in, like, for better or worse. So as I was going through this, she claimed she didn't feel loved, which broke my heart. And she wanted me to go find whoever I wanted, but still stay married. But I'm not that way. I basically lost everything. She made me sell my house. I was gonna retire in 6 years because I only had 6 years to pay off this house. And she made me sell it because my brain just wasn't there through the mental decline. So thankfully I got that transplant. And even after you get the transplant, it still takes months for your brain to get back to where it was. Well, and while I was in the hospital after the transplant, I heard my lead singer, Tim, who had a lot of medical issues with him too. So we supported each other. He passed. So I was in the hospital. I just bawled. It hurt so much. So my kidney now is named Timmy, because that was his name. So Timmy's going to be with the band forever, no matter what. I'm hoping I can start booking bands again. Yeah, I've had to rebuild my life. I ended up buying a house, and I'm here by myself with something I couldn't really afford. But luckily, I got enough money from the sale of the house that I can sustain. And it just sucks rebuilding. Let's see. But I'll get back there. This stuff hurts. It's just, I really don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay, John, I
But
just want to say thank you so much for being honest. I do want to point out something about you. I actually met you when while he was on dialysis, everyone, he was still performing and doing that. I think what also I wanted to highlight was with the last three speakers we listened to was the commitment to communities beyond just military service that we've heard in all of those speakers. And I want to parlay that into what I'm going to say next is that when John and I met, you actually, I don't know if I hopefully when I spoke to you, but you've made it a mission now to constantly share on Facebook and your community, like a kid, not every day, about what you're going through, about kidney donation, about the little stories, about being hospitalized. So I'd like you to speak a little bit for just a minute too about that transition of why you like to share so much on your, because you have a big platform and I appreciate you sharing it, you know?
yeah, I mean, I got my kidney on like Friday. I was out by Tuesday. I heal like Wolverine. It's like insane. They couldn't believe it. Right after I got out, I immediately went back to my dialysis center and spoke with everyone just to give them hope. My friends, even people I haven't talked to. And it's just amazing how many people are on dialysis that are like probably going to be on it forever because they're really old. They're not really candidates. But also, I had tons of friends trying to donate their kidney to me, but they always met a block because with punk rockers, we live crazy lives, all this, and basically they were all turned down. It's like they were turned down so much, which amazed me over the smallest things. But there's that. And yeah, I just want people to know what I went through. That's why I share a lot. I mean,
You're doing
just
fantastic.
you know,
And I think the truth and the honesty, and I don't mean to interrupt in your second, but that showing the realness of this process too, and something I know how grateful you are to receive Tim, by the way. One last question, did you write to your donor?
I don't even know who my donor was. Someone had passed.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll connect later with that, but
Yeah,
you want to write to them?
I would write to them, definitely.
All right, well, thank you so much. We'll definitely stick around too. I think it'd be good for you to connect with Lindsay. I think she put it in the chat from what I see. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience. I
Yeah.
think your military experience definitely has kept you this strong through the journey. All of you three speakers, yeah.
I'll stay on for any questions. You can ask me
Okay.
about the music. You can ask me about the military, anything. I'll stay on. I will,
Excellent.
any questions.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Cynthia, what do you think so far?
I think we're great. Let's see, timing wise. Where
On
are
the
we
table
at?
topics?
Yeah, let's start it.
How much time do we have
Oh, shoot. Let's go for
without
10.
evaluations?
I'll be right. I got to grab my pills.
Let's
Okay.
go for 10.
The wonderful pills.
As all the transplants laugh.
I tell you. Yeah, Jamie, let's go for 10.
Okay, great. I want to go around the room here.
Okay.
I'm just going to open up on just asking everybody specific questions about what did they think about these speakers. And I would like to start, actually, I really would like to bring George to the spotlight first.
George. Which George? Now we have two.
Oh, so I want George Franklin.
Okay.
Well, I missed the first speaker and I do apologize, but your second and third speakers were just phenomenal. The young lady, and I can't see her now. I know she's still on here. The number of people that have done double living donation is almost a single digit. I mean, it's so rare. And I guess when you're military, you have to have that spirit of giving. You know, you put your lives on the line every day, and I, for one, certainly appreciate it. The gentleman, John, your story is sad and happy at the same time. I've known other recipients to have lost their spouses. They walked away. I remember there was a gentleman that was on dialysis with me. His wife saw him through everything. And once he got his transplant, after 2.5, 3 years of dialysis, she says, "That's it. I can't go through that again." And I can understand that because it's traumatic for both people. It really is. One of them's not on dialysis, but it's still quite traumatic. And I did hear the first speaker, a little bit of Lachelle. In 2 days, I guess my claim to fame is that I will be celebrating my 50th transplant anniversary with my deceased donor kidney. And I encourage everyone, any recipient online, to take your medicine. I do labs once a month, not every 6 months. I think that's outrageous. My doctor told me 49 years and 11 months ago to do my labs once a month. If something happens, George, the sooner we catch it, the more likely we are to be able to stop a rejection or something like that. And back then, they didn't have all of the medications that they have now. We were on Medrol, prednisone, and azathioprine, and that's all they had. So if you went into rejection, they had to give you a large dose of prednisone, of Medrol. But I've been very fortunate. I've lived through a whole lot of stuff in these 50 years. I'm 71 years old. I was 21 when I got my transplant. And so many things in the world have changed, from our military, what we have, what we do, all the way up to the present time. It's just, but I am so very grateful. I would encourage you, John, to absolutely, there are ways of, you would write your OPO. And if you had it done in Baltimore, you would write Infinite Legacy, and then they would find a way to forward your letter to your donor family. So, and that's something I encourage everyone. I've heard from donor, I don't know who mine was, never was able to find out. That was something you just didn't do in 1975. But I've heard stories from the donor family members that, well, we never got a letter. We feel a certain way. So you do want to encourage them because they did lose a family member. Living donors, I think you guys are just the absolute best to put your life on the line for an unknown person. Sometimes they're for friends or relatives, but for an unknown person, that's true altruistic love. And I thank you.
Thanks,
And that's
George.
all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's good. I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
highlight you for that 50-year anniversary you got coming up. That gives hope for everyone else on this
Yep.
call. Really important. I would like to,
Thank you.
sorry, how about we bring sorry, Karen, would you like to come to the stage? And then remind everyone, table topics, just try to answer under 2 minutes.
I'm here.
Great. What inspired you the most of this?
The meeting
Mhm.
tonight. It's a community. I think it's great. I mean, 50 years. I'm just blown away by 50 years. And Lindsay, her speech was great about the military. My husband, like I said, he's joined tonight and he's military again. It's another community. And I have got to laugh, John, because at 8 o'clock, my husband's alarm is going off to take his meds while you're taking your meds, and it's the every 12-hour thing, and it's a
You
community.
have a
It's
crazy
nice.
story about meds too. Sorry, but
It's
I'll
nice
wait.
to have other people in the room here that have shared experiences. But I'm the same way as most of you. Of course, it's my husband. There was no doubt in my mind that I was going to go through the process. We were just absolutely stunned when I was able to be a direct donor. So
Thank you.
back to you.
Fantastic. Mark Scotch.
Well,
Oh,
Now, I know you have an incredible, where's Mark? Do you want to do table topics, Mark?
yeah.
Okay, great.
which Mark?
Oh, sorry, Mark Scotch. And then I'll go to the other Mark.
Okay.
Scotch. Now, I know you have
Um,
I know you have an incredible story. I just want to hear, and how do you relate to all this?
well, I relate to it in many ways. Being a double donor, of course, my story mirrors
We're not with a vacuum sealer here in 2 minutes.
Lindsay, I believe her name was.
Lindsay.
I think Brian's mic is on.
Yeah, there was a interruption. I didn't
But
hear. I'm sorry.
so I related to Lindsay's story very well. Obviously, on my second bike ride from Martha's Vineyard back to Wisconsin, I met a vet named Mark Weiner in Massachusetts, and we tried to help him find a kidney. He was
I think we lost him.
I think we lost him. Oh, wait, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll come back. He'll come back. Go on, Jamie.
Okay. Oh, we'll go to the other Mark now.
Oh, wait. He may
Oh,
be
wait.
back.
It's back?
Think so.
yes, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Mhm.
Where did I drop off?
May not be able to do it.
Meeting somebody on a ride.
Okay.
Yes. Where did I drop off? Jamie?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
So I met a, can you hear me?
You keep fading in and out.
Okay, I'll just wrap it up then.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, we'll go to the other
Okay.
Mark. Put in the chat. So the other Mark, would you like to take the stage?
Yes, thank you very much.
Excellent. How do you think that your military experience, because obviously we saw how the other individuals kind of got a lot of the skill sets and from their experience to help guide them later on. How do you think yours impacted in your story?
Well, I have a very positive story. Some of the other stories haven't been as positive. My story is very positive, as in my wife was a 1 in a million donor. I started the process after I retired. High blood pressure was the issue, and I received that high blood pressure through the military in the many very high pressure jobs I had. Got out of the military, went to the VA, found out that I was going to be disabled for my kidneys. And I had a very positive story, very positive support from my wife. She went through the process of being a kidney donor for the one reason, so I could use that knowledge to advertise to get a kidney donor. I had no belief at all that she would be my donor. Because we are from different families, different geographic regions, different backgrounds. She was over 60, I was over 60, and doctor came in, said we're a 1 in a million donor. Very positive. She's still married. She's still married to me. I used my militaristic organizational skills to get up into the donor program. Hit it right when I was at 15. Started the process to get on the list right when I was at the 15 mark. Never got on dialysis. Ended up getting my once in a lifetime donor, my wife. Picked the date, asked my family to come in and support us. Everybody came to my house. So great support, great help. And I am here to tell the story to everyone I can about how to get a kidney donor, how to go through the process. And yes, exercise, drink your water, take your meds. Thank you.
Agree with all of that. Absolutely. Cynthia, how are we on time? Cynthia?
You're good. We maybe one more.
One more? Let's take one more.
Yeah.
I actually would like to call on Caroline. She's gonna hate me. Caroline,
Oh, that's right. Because
is she there?
I'm
Yes.
here. I'm
Great.
here.
Okay.
Why would you
I
do
know
that?
that you are a liver recipient, but how you have a bestie here that's a kidney as well. How has listening to all these stories impacted you as you are on your own, taking care of your kidneys and listening to all of this? How has this impacted you tonight?
Um, Very amazing. Thank you so much for all your service. Um, and it's just I was kind of crying before, but it's teaching me a lot, and I'm hoping to take care of my kidneys. But yeah, I learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. And Jamie, thank you for inviting me.
Sure.
Short and sweet.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. I think it's important too that we as a community for transplant, even if you have a solo organ, that we all are in this battle together.
Oh,
It's a big
yes.
thing, in my opinion. All right, Cindy, I'll turn it back over to you. I've taken on all your evening.
Well, with that, let me turn it back over to George.
Yeah.
If you can kind of wrap us up a little bit here, and then we'll go forward. Wait, before that, George, I'm sorry. Mr. Brian Volk, can you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can.
I mean, I'll turn my video on too. My name is Brian Volk. I am a kidney recipient in 2017. I was in the military for 23 years. And I kind of caught the tail end of all the conversations. You were talking about military resiliency. I was in a terrorist bombing in Saudi Arabia in 1996, and I survived that, was awarded a Purple Heart. Unfortunately lost. I was on some of the rescue missions to get some of the guys out, pulled some guys out that didn't make it, pulled some guys out that did make it. And so you spend, I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. You spend a lot of time with the what if question, and why did I survive? Why?
Smallest playing cards.
And so I struggle with that. And so I got out of the military. I had about 5 years. I'd ridden across the country on my motorcycle one time and just got really, really sick. And long story short, they were like, we're going to give you a double nephrectomy. And if you Google a double nephrectomy, not much successful has been posted to the internet about that process. And so we survived that and actually was healthier. Of course, I had to start dialysis right after that. But I did dialysis for about a year, and I was coaching a high school robotics team. And they said, lady one of the other parents said, you need a kidney, I'll give you a kidney. And I was like, it's not going to match. I'll get sick, you'll get sick. I played the what if game. And sure enough, 4 or 5 evaluations, and she comes and asked me what my favorite flavor of hospital food is, because we were going to the hospital in June of 2017. So everything was fine, came out of that good. Went in on a Monday, walked out on a Thursday, and really never looked back. Rode back across the country again, and then perfect storm. We were trying to accommodate some side effects. As we all know, we have those, and they think the perfect storm occurred, and this was in December of 21, and I had a rejection. So we nursed that rejection all the way to December of last year, and I started dialysis again. And just trying to stay positive. I think that's the key, like everybody says, is you got to be positive about the whole experience. You got to keep your head up and keep looking and keep telling people what you need. And so as of September 11th, the musical director at my local small church decided she was going to donate her kidney. So she did. So that was a paired exchange. Her kidney went to New Jersey, and that moves me up. Well, during that time frame, I lost all hearing in my left ear, and I couldn't figure out why. So I went to the hospital, found out I had a non-cancerous tumor, a vestibular schwannoma, in between my brain and my skull. And August of this past year, they took me off the transplant list, off the active list. And I've had that surgery. They drilled a 1-inch hole in my head and took that out. And I recovered from that. I got an evaluation this week with my transplant surgeon, and we're suspecting that we're going to reactivate. And they said probably within 30 days or so, I should have a transplant. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I don't know. Maybe that was too much info?
It's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think it goes along with our amazing stories that enlighten us as a group this evening, as well as you. I think that all things went well. Yes, Jamie.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody, please put your information in the chat, because this is a powerful group of stories and people here, and you're all on Facebook. So I think you all need to connect with each other. So please do that. Yeah.
Did everybody get to the chat and understand what she's saying? Leave your emails in the chat for us, please. We are just so honored to have you here as in our Toastmasters meeting and club for you to be introduced. This has just been enlightening and just fabulous to share. And John, I commend you. This is your first time. You did very well. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I expect you to do more. I expect you to do more. Now, George, my apologies for the delay.
Okay, no problem. No problem hearing these stories. We do have 2 evaluations of our Marion on counter. Bobby,